Hey everyone, welcome back. For today's video, we will be going through the cross-grading results from my most recent ARS submission. I made a video before this highlighting the ARS slab, talking through some of the features and elements that I personally really like about them. And I also gave some detail about ARS, the grading company, as a whole. So if you are unfamiliar with ARS grading, or just want to see that more showcase-esque video, I'll link that down in this description. Definitely recommend checking that out. Today's video will just be talking about the results, and I'll also obviously give the information on the cards since that's a common theme here on the channel. So I submitted 5 cards for cross-grading for this experiment. So for cross-grading, they were in slabs from other companies. I shipped them that way. I didn't crack them out. And this experiment was to serve 2 purposes. So the first one, I was interested to see how the cards would cross-grade being sent with their original grades attached to them rather than cracking the slabs. And second, I wanted to try and get an understanding of how the submission process is for someone who is not located in Japan. I used a middleman service for this submission since it was my first time actually submitting to ARS myself. But I think you can also work around it with a proxy address. Obviously, you'll pay a little more for the middleman services, but it does make things a lot easier and a little more streamlined. So that is the route I went with this time. And I may try another route on my next submission, but I will say the middleman service did make it pretty easy for someone located outside of Japan. And the turnaround time on this was like pretty much 3 months on the dot. Cross-grading takes a little bit longer than ARS standard grading. There's obviously extra steps. I believe they assess the card in the slab you send it in, and then obviously they break it out and assess the card again. So there's a couple of extra steps there. And there's also no express option for cross-grading. So it's just one standard service timeline, whereas obviously if you send raw cards, there are express options there. So just to give you an idea, this took about 3 months to get back to me. So with that, we'll go ahead and we'll get started. Again, it may be a quick video because there's only 5 cards. If you did check out my previous video highlighting the ARS slab and talking to some of the features, you may recognize this card. This was the example I used as the focal point for that video. This is the 2002 Pokemon Center Tokyo promo. This was handed out with any purchase that was made at the store between January 3rd and January 5th of 2002, and it was to commemorate the grand opening of the Pokemon Center in New York City. So this card was sent in as a PSA 9, and it received an ARS 9, so the grade transferred from one company to another. And then the second card is a similar theme. This is the Pokemon Center Osaka promo from 2002. Same distribution, obviously, except just a different location. This was given out with any purchase made at the Pokemon Center Osaka store, January 3rd to January 5th of 2002 to commemorate the New York City Pokemon Center's grand opening. This one was a PSA 8, and you will see that the grade did transfer as well for this one right into an ARS 8. 2 of the oldest Pokemon Center promos in the hobby. Super cool. Really happy to have these, especially obviously in the ARS slab, which has a little bit more of that premium look to it. The third card, another one of my favorites, is the Trade Please promo. So this was obviously distributed as part of the Trade Please campaign, which took place in Japan in 1998. And what participants were required to do to receive this card was they had to send any 2 cards in the mail along with a flyer that was included in the music album called Trade Please by the Pokemon rap group Suzuki-san. And that one of the members of that group was Imakuni. So you would get the flyer from that album, you would mark it, and you would send 2 cards in to the designated location, and in return, you would get this card here. You would get the Trade Please promo, along with whatever card you selected on the flyer. The options were Venusaur, Charizard, and Blastoise. The card art is the exact same as the hollows from the CD promo in 1999. So you would be able to select any one of those, and then everyone who participated would get this Trade Please promo. This card was sent in as a PSA 9, and we'll actually see the first instance of a downgrade here, dropping to a PSA 8. But the really cool thing about this card, obviously, I'm sure you're noticing, is the holofoil on the back. This is actually one of only 2 cards to ever have a holofoil back up until this point in the Pokemon trading card game hobby, the other one being the Ancient Mew movie promo. So this is actually the only card that has this specific back as a holofoil. And the other thing that I personally really love about this card in particular, the one that I have here, there's actually 3 swirls on the back. So you'll see there's 2 kind of layered next to each other. There's obviously one super prominent here, and then underneath it, there's like a small second one, if I can get it to shine right. And there's also one up here too. So this card is honestly just super loaded on the back. And again, one of my favorites, just because obviously how unique it is, being a part of one, like requiring some kind of extra steps other than opening a booster pack, and with that, kind of like exclusivity to that one Trade Please event. And then I also just really like it because I think the artwork's really cute, really funny with Poliwhirl and Weepin' Bell. The 4th card we have in the submission is the Pokemon Card Laboratory Prize Card promo from the year 2004. This was given out at a side event of the 2004 Summer Battle Road. So at these Battle Road events, they would typically have multiple side events or corners, and each one would have its own designated card with some exclusive artwork. So for this one in particular, Pokemon Laboratory, you had to participate in the specific side event for this card, which actually not everyone who wanted to participate could. It was not open admission. It was done through a lottery the day of. And if you were selected to participate in the event, the participant would have to just beat a staff member who was portraying a gym leader in a match of the Pokemon trading card game, and they would be awarded this card as their prize. So again, obviously, tied to an event, and then not just an event, it's a sub-event of a more major event that required a lottery to be able to participate. So a pretty exclusive card from the 2004 Summer Battle Road. This card was submitted as a CGC 8, and the grade for this one also did transfer right across into an ARS 8. But again, just looking super premium in this ARS slab. Can't say it enough. I know I kind of also gassed it up in the review video I did that I linked in the description. Just really, really loving the ARS slabs and how they make the cards the focal point of the art and make them kind of look like almost like a museum piece. And the last card, shout out to all my Johto fans. We have the Burned Tower prize card from Reviving Legends. This card was awarded at Reviving Legends commemoration events in January of 2010 in Japan. This card was also released as a non-holo in sets for both Japanese and English. On the Japanese side, obviously that would be the set Reviving Legends. And then on the English side, the non-holo is in the set Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Undaunted. But the only way to get the holo version was as a prize card at the Reviving Legends commemorations event in January of 2010. I think the holo adds so much to this card. It really makes it pop. I'm a Johto fanboy, and this is my favorite legendary trio, so definitely had to have this for the collection. This was a PSA 9 when I had submitted it, and this one also actually dropped down to a PSA 8. But again, so happy to have this, A, just in my collection in general, and then B, to have it in a beautiful ARS slab is just the icing on the cake. It looks great. So that was the quick review of my ARS cross-grading submission. We had 3 grades go straight across, and we had 2 downgrades. But again, happy overall. I know I mentioned this in the other video. ARS is pretty tough on physical card condition, so not surprised, especially on some of the vintage cards, to see the grade go down a little bit. But above all, like super, super happy to have ARS slabs in my collection. I do want to slowly transition some of my other cards over to ARS slabs. But we'll see how that goes. Obviously, like I said, it took 3 months. I will be doing another cross-grading submission. I'm just not sure if I want to send them in slabs again for the maximum protection, or if I want to try and crack them out so I can get them back faster, because I am relatively impatient when it comes to grading cards. I'm literally checking the status like every day when I have cards to be submitted. But that'll be it for today's video. Let me know what you think of ARS slabs. Do you own any? And if not, what is your preferred grading company? Like I said, you will probably hear and see more about ARS on my channel going forward. As always, I appreciate you checking out the video. I'll see you in the next one.